We're going to get started with the clownfish. If you haven't already opened Scratch, go ahead and do that. It should be a kitty cat on your desktop. It defaults to the Scratch logo, which is a kitty cat. Let's right click and delete him. And instead, let's draw our own sprite, and it's going to have two costumes. So we'll click on the star in the paintbrush. And I might change my paintbrush size to something a little bit smaller just by clicking on this brush size. And then this is where you'll need to do your best to draw some sort of fish of your choosing. And you'll be using your mouse, which is a little bit tricky, but with some practice, you should be able to draw something that looks like a fish. And go ahead and give him an eye and some fins. Alright, good. Now let's go ahead and fill them in with some paint. So I'll come to my orange paint, get my paint bucket, and fill those parts in with orange. Whoops, you can undo if you make a mistake there. And then we'll get the white paint and fill them up with some white paint. And then I'll go ahead and hit OK. Alright, now if we go to the Costumes tab, we have the first costume. And what you might want to do is go ahead and copy that costume and then edit the second costume. And one way to make it look like the fish is swimming is just by taking this marquee tool, drawing it around his tail, and then using the flip tool. And so we can make it look as if his tail is flipping, and you feel free to do whatever else you'd like to do. Alright, so good, we've got this fish now with its tail flopping. Let's go to the script and let's start by writing the script. And what we can do is go to the motion and we can say move 10 steps or 10 pixels. You could think of that, and we can change that to 5 or whatever number you'd like. And then what we want to do is go to the looks block, and we'll have them switch to the next costume after that, and that will change to the tail. And then that happens very quickly, so if you go to the control script block, we can have it wait for not a second, but like a tenth of a second with a 0.1. That way we can actually see the tail flipping. Otherwise it would happen so quickly you might not even notice it. And then one last thing, if we go back to the motion, we can go to a block that says if on edge bounce. Now in order for this to work properly, what we need to do is on both of these costumes, we need to go ahead and click this left-right arrow, only face left-right, and then only face left-right. Make sure that you've got that selected. That way when he hits the edge of the aquarium, he'll turn around and swim back. So that's an important thing to remember. And then finally, if we go back to our control block, we can put our forever loop around that, and then put a green flag on top of it to start the whole event. And now if we click on this, we should see our clownfish swimming slowly across the aquarium, and when he hits the edge, he flips the other direction and swims across. Now if that's too slow for you, feel free to adjust these different speeds and times. But so far so good. That's how you make the clownfish, and then we'll add some improvements here in the next tutorial.